G'day viewers, how are you? Made it to the end of another week. Congratulations you. You're doing so well. We're all doing so well to still be here against all the odds with all the shit that happens in this world of ours. And one of the biggest stories this week was the MAGA Bomber, the person who sent pipe bombs to a number of high-profile people that were basically high-profile members of the Democratic Party, the hierarchy, and journalists who were regarded as being enemies of Trump. Basically, these were sent to people that Trump is always talking shit about. Now, I'm actually really glad I waited a day to make a video. Often I'll do this video on a Friday. It's Saturday for me now. Because, of course, there was an arrest made. Now, when this came out, a lot of people were foaming at the mouth to quickly make absolutely conclusive declarations of what was going on. And a lot of Trump supporters and defenders were going, oh, you don't know for sure. You don't know for sure this was a Trump supporter. And that was absolutely true. There was no way to know for sure who it was going to turn out to be. It could have been someone who was basically anti-Trump doing this as a stunt to try and discredit Trump and his supporters. It could have been. It wasn't the most likely scenario, but it was a possibility. Turns out the guy was such a Trump supporter. In fact, he was such a stereotype with his truck literally covered, was a van, covered in pro-Trump stickers and quite threatening images of people regarded as enemies of Trump, covering the windows of this van. I mean, honestly, if you were putting a movie together and had a character, deranged Trump supporter who sends bombs to people, and you set it up so that he was driving a van like this, people would rightly say, you're an idiot. That's a stupid stereotype. You shouldn't do stupid stereotypes like that. Turns out, sometimes stereotypes are real. But the whole lead up was really interesting because it wasn't just the absolute far-right fringers who went, oh, false flag, it's fake news, it's definitely a Democrat, not a Trump supporter. I mean, right up into major media heads like Lou Dobbs, who went with, oh no, here's the truth is definitely fake. Why you would do that on such an important story when you have some vague idea that you are a person of the media to aggressively push an incredibly unlikely conspiracy theory, which of course he deleted the tweets later. I mean, what was your excuse for doing something that stupid, Lou? Well, I see. Well put. Well, yeah, so it turns out it's not a conspiracy. Turns out it's not a Democrat. Turns out it's exactly what you would expect from someone who would do this. Oh, and incidentally, like, it's pretty disturbing. Bombs being sent around. You know, a lot of people going, what is it coming to? Look, let's try and find some positives. I mean, surely, you can have renewed faith in the US Postal Service. Getting all those packages delivered. That's not bad, right? And also, a genuine positive that I can see in it is if you're ever in any discussion, whether online or real life, and someone talking about this unironically goes, fake news, false flag, deep state, you know instantly that person's an utter fuckwit and you should not waste any time on them at all. That's a great time saver. I mean, they're either the sort of moron who's so fucking detached from reality they think that's an intelligent thing to say, or they're the sort of moron who just goes around doing bad faith arguments for the sole purpose of trying to derail conversations. Either way, total waste of your time, and this has helped identify them. Not that they were ever shy in the first place, but here's a great case of knowing anyone does that, oh, deep state, fake news, oh, it's a false flag. Write them off instantly. They're fuckwits and they're not worth your time. Of course, a big part of this story is how would Trump react? And he didn't react at all for a while. Then he did make a speech. I saw the video of the speech and it starts off with Trump saying like, you know, political violence, not acceptable. We will get this person. And of course, he made another speech after the person was arrested saying how great it was they were arrested. But you watch, and he starts off like he's almost saying the right things, and it takes all of 30 seconds to go off the rails where you realise, wait, is he playing the victim here? Is he saying he's a fool? And he starts obviously equating sending fucking bombs to people with, I don't know, being a bit shouty, telling people their shit. It's like, as if that is the same thing. This is this weird victimology, like, conservatives are always saying, people on the left, you're just playing the victim. It's victim ideology. Oh, it's identity politics where you play the victim. And this straight away, where someone who's completely swallowed Trump's invective, Trump's continual declarations on these people are the enemy and have to be stopped, and followed it to what this person saw as a natural conclusion, and Trump and other Republicans instantly go, you know who's the real victim? Us. I mean, I fucking saw one guy, he's like, his campaign poster had googly eyes put on it, and he literally held it up and compared it directly to getting pipe bombs sent to you. Like, yes, googly eyes are the new pipe bomb. It's just beyond fucking comprehension that these people can be such pieces of shit. But, you know, here we are. They're that fucking awful. I want to bring it back to Australia now. That we're having drought issues, which is like the new normal with climate change. There's some severely drought-affected areas, and it's getting worse, not better. And we're only at the start of summer. This summer will probably make drought conditions worse. And there's been a lot of fundraising proposals set forward for farmers doing it hard. There's a lot of charity concerts going on. There's a lot of people say, oh, put in a few extra dollars and it'll go to charity for farmers. You know, good seeing people saying, hey, here's an issue, we're going to deal with it. But let's see what our federal government is doing. How are we going to deal with this drought causing incredible hardship with a lot of farmers? Well, they're going to give them money. So that's not bad. It was interesting to see a few industry groups saying, sure, support farmers, but if you were to find farms that are just not financially viable, it would be stupid to throw money at them. Sure, give those people money to transition and do something else, but artificially propping up unsustainable farms is not a good idea. That was really good. And the government said, oh, we're going to give them billions with a B. Well, they're really pulling all up. How are they going to do this? They're going, well, we're going to take this money that was already set aside for the National Disability Insurance Scheme, and we're going to give that to the farmers. And it's like, fucking what? Like, the NDIS was identified, it's a bipartisan thing, it was very much needed to help very much in need people. People who are in need all the time, even when it's raining. And this fucking cynical move of going, oh yeah, we're going to help the farmers by taking money from some of the most disadvantaged, marginalised people in the country. It's like, yes, we're the thinkers. You're the fucking thinkers. I mean, of all the things you could have done, it's like, I don't know, you could have maybe made mining companies actually pay some fucking tax. That would have bankrolled it. And for fuck's sake, the banks. The Banking Royal Commission showed how criminal and corrupt the banks were from top to bottom. Just evil and exploitative. And in a lot of cases, specifically to farmers, find them a couple fucking $1 billion and make them pay for the farmers, for fuck's sake. Or, you know, actually stop subsidising coal-fired power plants that are making the situation worse. Use some of that money. There are all these things you could have done apart from taking money from a disability fund. It's just like, fucking hell, Morrison has only been Prime Minister for a couple of hours and he's already just continuing the grand tradition of this mob being a fucking train wreck. It's like, the next election can't come soon enough because they're going to get absolutely creamed. It's just a question of how much damage this fuckwit can do in the meantime. Speaking of the coal-fired power plants, they were actually floating an idea that, oh, we want people to open new coal-fired plants and we want to subsidise them. Oh, and we want to guarantee them an indemnity that if at a future time they were found responsible for huge amounts of environmental damage, they wouldn't have to pay for it. We'll have the taxpayer cover technologies that we know are the wrong way to go for a couple $1 billion. I mean, like when that big scientific paper was presented that basically said, oh yeah, climate change, we're all fucked. We're so fucked. Okay, we'll pretend that if you did something radical in the next 10 years, we can slow things down. But we all know that's not going to happen. We're just telling you, you're fucked, everyone's fucked. The Australian government's response was to literally say, I don't think the scientists are right. No, I think we will actually do the literal opposite. We will not just continue with the amount of really badly polluting power stations we have. We will expand and increase this. It's just like a pack of fucking morons. And then out of left field comes Bob Katter, independent conservative in his rural seat, and he's a man of the land. And he is. And he's been around farms his whole life. Now, he was in the news twice this week. Once, when he finally decided the Hitler-loving racist fuck he'd accepted into his party, Fraser Anning, had actually gone too far. Fraser Anning, in his debut speech to the Senate, basically opined that he wanted the white Australia policy back and invoked Nazi ideology of applying a final solution. And Bob Katter went, I'm 100% okay with that. That's solid gold. But apparently, because Katter just kept being racist, he's going, oh, I'm going to let him go now. But even, he just handled it so badly. He's like, oh no, I'm on board with 99% of what he's saying. But 1% was too far. It was like, what 1%, man? What 1% was worse than the other 99% of what he was doing? Because it's all indistinguishable, but well and good. That happened. But then good old fucking Bob Katter, he gives a little speech because he knows how to fix the drought. So just because all the signs are, Bob, you're completely fucking detached from reality, and a drought is a big, complex problem, but, you know, you say you've got a simple answer, so lay it on me. Hey, don't you get testy with me. Just get to the point.
In 45 years, I've been through, 400 droughts.
You what now? 400 droughts in 45 years? So roughly 100 droughts a year? Do you understand droughts or years? Do you know what these terms mean? Fine. Stop getting testy. So you were using hyperbolic exaggeration to prove a point. You're saying you really know what's going on. What's your solution, Bob?
The answers are, in fact, very simple.
Simple. I like it. It's simple. We're going to address climate change, aren't we, Bob? We're going to look at the underlying causes. We're going to change the things that are making climate change worse, because long term, this is going to make our agriculture industry unsustainable. And we're going to look at agricultural practices that are damaging the environment and, again, making the entire agriculture system unsustainable. And we're going to do these things and we're going to turn it around. That's it, isn't it, Bob?
The answer is you put water on that ground and it grows grass.
What the fuck did you say?
The answer is you put water on that ground and it grows grass.
It is not as simple as putting water on ground and grass growing. There has to be a consistent supply of said water. You need a way to get water to where you need it. The way you get the water has to be sustainable, both environmentally and also economically. The cost of getting the water to where you need it can't be more than the return from the agriculture. Stop getting testy with me and stop saying stupid things.
But I ain't spending any time on it because in the meantime, every 3 months, a person is torn to pieces by a crocodile in North Queensland.
I give up trying to make any sense of any of this bullshit. We're all doomed.